Hey everybody, this is LaKeysha Mattis, and I'm coming to you because it was something very interesting that was going on, and it actually happened to deal with a book I came across as I was organizing some things, and it's called A Seed is a Promise. And as I was reading through this book and glancing in the book regarding seeds, it just hit me so hard of how it was like my spirit was connecting, and it was like a deeper meaning to what was really uh, being said through the words in this simple book that I came across because I love to teach about gardening and to help, you know, younger kids get enthusiastic about gardening, and hoping to be able to bring it back to some of my students. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start reading the book. Don't worry about the background part. That's not a part of it. It's just that I didn't want I want the focus actually not to be on me and my movements and me speaking to you as, a video sort. And I want it to be more like where you focus on these words and see where it resonates for you at. So once again, it's called A Seed is a Promise, and it's by Claire Merrill, and pictures are by Susan Swan, excuse me. You know a lot about seeds. When you eat an orange, you see little white seeds inside. You've seen the seeds of other fruits too, apples, pears, melons, and grapes, right? Have you eaten peas or lima beans for dinner? Peas and lima beans are seeds. They are seeds of vegetables. And I will pause right there and say, yeah, they are seeds of vegetables. So each seed is actually going to create something based on what it initially was, right? Have you ever bought flower seed packets in the store or fed grass seed to a pet bird? Have you ever worn maple tree seeds on your nose or played tea party with the seeds of an oak tree? Do you know where all these seeds come from? Do we know where all the seeds come from? All seeds come from plants. And in every seed, there is a promise. And in every seed, there is a promise. And in every seed, there is a promise. The promise that a new plant will grow. And I want to pause right there too. I read that 3 times to really see how that hits you and where it resonates for you at. So I want you to kind of take some time to figure out where does that resonate with you. I'll read it again. And in every seed, there is a promise. The promise that a new plant will grow. So do we take that by faith that in every seed that we plant, hallelujah, that the promise that a new plant will grow, or the promise that that seed will be fruitful and it will multiply? That seed will become fruit that will multiply. That seed, we don't know the power of one seed. We don't know if that one seed is going to produce multiple or if that one seed is going to produce just one of itself, right? Some seeds you can kind of tell, and others you cannot. And that is a very interesting concept, I believe. If you know what kind of seed a plant seed comes from, you know what it will grow into. So my question here is, what types of seeds have you been planting in your life? Because you know what? According to the type of seeds you have been planting, you know what it will grow into. A bean seed will grow into a bean plant, right? An orange seed will grow into an orange tree, but an orange seed will never grow into a lemon tree. So we need to check the seeds that we're planting. A side note to that, when I read that, it was like I felt in my spirit the question of this: why are we planting in certain areas one thing and then think we're going to get something else out of what we planted when the seed that we initially planted wasn't the type of seed that could bear what we wanted to bear? I hope you're really understanding and getting what I'm saying right now. Because as it said here, if you know what kind of plant a seed comes from, you know what it will grow into. So what is the seeds? What are the seeds that you are planting? What do they have the capacity, the ability to grow into based on what you initially planted? You need to ask yourself that, because a bean seed will grow into a bean plant, an orange seed will grow into an orange tree, but an orange seed will never grow into a lemon tree. So we have to be strategically mindful of the type of seeds that we're planting so that we can produce the things we want to produce. We have to understand the concept as well as whatever we want to grow, see come or manifest itself. Those are the types of seeds we have to grow, whether it's seeds of being grateful, right? Seeds of speaking life into situations versus speaking negativity into situations, which we know what kind of crop that we are going to produce. Yes, our words are seeds we can plant. Hallelujah. And harvest from the words that we decide to speak. So I'm just saying we need to really be mindful and also really be strategic in the types of seeds through our thoughts, through our deeds, and through our voice that we have been planting. Because guess what? We're going to reap that because we sowed it. How are seeds made? Now, sometimes it's saying most seeds begin inside flowers. Look at the center part of the flower. This is called the pistil. At the bottom of the pistil, there are tiny egg cells. I started about right there, a side note. I thought about the periodic table and all the elements and how you can make a concoction based on the elements that you put together. It will manifest itself to become something else. Not only it's on, but when you put it in combination with other things. So for an example, H2O, that's two hydrogens and one oxygen put together makes H2O, which we call water. That O is oxygen, which is the air we breathe, which is actually a gas. So the egg cells, right, are at the bottom of the pistil. You understand what I'm saying? Because we're talking about how seeds are made. The egg cells are at the bottom of the piston, and that's like the bottom part of the plant. So sometimes those seeds that are going to start being created within us, hallelujah. But God said he already put everything that we needed inside of us, right? Before we were born. So think about that seeds, those seeds that he had wanted to plant into our life based on what he wanted us to do, right? Our calling, it's already placed all the way down. Just think about like a flower at the bottom of that flower, and it's a tiny egg cell, right? At the bottom of the pistil. Now look at the parts around the pistil, it says, and these are the stamens. Now they make a yellow powder and it's called pollen. A grain of pollen must reach an egg cell to make a seed. So some kind of combination has to happen. So guess what? A side note to that, I was thinking like, Lord, what kind of combination needs to happen? Hallelujah. What elements need to be mixed together for us to manifest the things that we have said that we wanted in our lives, or to manifest what you have put inside of us, that seed that has been placed inside of us before it was a seed, a tiny egg cell hallelujah, that has to be fertilized some type of way, right? Because that's basically what's happening. Looking around the parts around the pistil and the yellow that pollen, a grain of pollen must reach an egg cell to make a seed. So something has to reach us in order to spark that or ignite something inside of us that we know that we have this burning desire to do certain things or something that's close to our hearts. And then we kind of start knowing our purpose and trying to figure it out, right? Some flowers use their own pollen to make seeds. So check this out. Some flowers use their own pollen to make seeds, but most flowers use the pollen of other flowers. They say birds of a feather flock together. I say birds of a feather soar together. How about that? Let's use it more in the positive terms that, we can help each other, hallelujah, to pollinate, to birth forth, or to bring up, to fertilize the egg that has been placed inside of us of what God has for us. Hallelujah. Oh, this is some deep stuff. I told you just off this little book. This is the revelation's been dropping down in my spirit. And I'm so happy that I'm able to share this. And I hope somebody's going to get something out of this today. Wow. But most flowers use the pollen of other flowers. Hallelujah. Bees and other insects carry pollen from flower to flower. Wind blows pollen through the air. Now, let me just stop and say, a lot of times when we start coming into who we are and positioning ourselves, and God starts lining us up, and we start worrying about this, worried about that, the ideas that God has downloaded into us, we're kind of getting wishy-washy about it. We don't know how to stand upon it. Faith is activated by, we got to move, right? So faith without works is dead. So we got to move. We got to get our move on.